Hello, you guys. Happy December 1st. Can you guys believe that it's just a couple of weeks before Christmas? Oh my goodness. And then New Year's. We are at the end of the year. Can you guys believe that? Just seems so crazy to me that this year has really flown by us. But that's okay. I'm ready for the new year to begin, and with okay. that, we are going to have New Year's resolutions and get ourselves back on track. It's always kind of a refresh at the beginning of the year, and I think we all kind of need that in our lives to have that lively little refresh for the new year. It does seem to fade quite fast for me because I do get kind of overwhelmed. I get myself all like energized, ready to go for the new year. And then it slowly phases out in the middle of the year. And then it's like, okay, I have to have something again that now recharges me again. But I think that's just the way life goes, right? Hello, Miss Linda. How are you? So I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know we did. It was very kind of chill around here, and chill as meaning low key, not chill as in cold, because we're definitely not there. I know quite a few of you guys who live towards the east have gotten your fair share of cold weather. So if you want to just kind of trickle some of that, get one of those big industrial fans and blow it to the west. We could use some of that. I was reading and it did say that right now we are at 58 degrees, but I don't think I believe that because I'm still in a t-shirt and I'm in the barn. And I do have my mini split set up here. It does have a heating mechanism as well as my air conditioning. I have it set at 70 and it hasn't kicked on yet. So if it's really only 58, I can't imagine that if that thing's set on 70, it hasn't kicked down at all today. So I don't know. Unless it's just staying nice and toasty in here, which I do have lights on and that kind of stuff. So maybe I'm just generating my own heat. Maybe that's how it's working. Look at you guys. I finally decided that it was time to take the Christmas shirts out. And so we have, oh snap. And his little leg is broken over here. So I don't normally do red. So Christmas time is about the only time I wear red. A lot of red and a lot of green, which I don't typically wear on a normal basis. So it's kind of my little festive season to wear those holiday shirts, because you guys saw that during the, October-ish, I wear all my Halloween shirts. Every day I wear a Halloween shirt. Now, that being said, I don't wear a different shirt every day. I couldn't do that. As much as I would love to, the budget just doesn't go for that. It goes towards crafting stuff, not necessarily different t-shirts. But I do have my fair share of my horror movie memorabilia shirts that I like to sport during that time of year. All right, you guys, I am so excited to be back with you guys. It was nice to take the week off last week and spend it with my family. We did a very traditional Thanksgiving. I know a couple years back, we kind of decided that we were going to try something different and we did pizza. Well, let's say we probably wouldn't do that again. It didn't feel like the Thanksgiving. It wasn't quite the mood. So we decided that, yep, we're going to stick with our traditional turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. And that's exactly what we did this year. And we kept it kind of basic. A lot of the times, like before we did the pizza thing, every year we would try to come up with a new recipe that we would find. Something fancy, maybe not fancy, but just something different that we hadn't had. I remember we had corn casserole, which actually was really good. I'm not going to diss on that one. But then we had tried, oh, I can't even remember what the heck it was, but it wasn't good. So it was the last time we did that. So this year we were kind of, because me and my mom do the cooking, Now, I will say that my husband, he normally does a turkey on our Traeger because we like that smoked turkey. It makes that turkey so juicy in the inside, because I feel like when we do turkey in the oven, it always comes out kind of dry. And maybe that's just because we don't know what we're doing. But having a gas, propane, whatever you want to call it, stove, it kind of dries things out in the oven. So we have, for the last couple of years since we've gotten the Traeger, he has done a turkey on there. And oh, mwah, I tell you what, if you have never done a smoked turkey, holy Hannah, you must try. It is so stinking good. Now, back when we lived in Oregon, my cousins had done a deep fried turkey. Now that scares the out of me. Like, I could never do that. I would never let my husband do that. That's just, oh, you hear about all the horror stories that happen with the deep fried turkeys. It's amazing. And I don't like turkey skin, but when you deep fry a turkey, the skin is so crispy. It's almost like and I don't like chicharrones, or however you say that word, what are they called? Pork skins or rinds or something like that. I don't like those. But from what people say, that the turkey skin is kind of like a chicharrone. But again, I don't like those, and I don't think it's anything like that. But I guess it's cooked kind of the same way from what I'm understanding. But when you deep fry a turkey, the skin is amazing. It's almost like eating a chip, but full of flavor. And your turkey does, again, come out extremely moist, and it's just very tasty. But I will only eat it if somebody else cooks it that way. Because like I said, you hear about every year, you always hear on the news about somebody getting hurt by, doing a deep fried turkey. So nope, that's not for me. But I like to eat it that way. So if I can find somebody else who is ballsy enough, I guess you would say, to cook their turkey around here like that, then maybe I might have to just befriend them and buy them a turkey just so I can have some of it. But we do just fine on our Traeger. So let's see who has popped in and joined us. Hello, Miss Linda. Hello, Frida. Frida said it is 42 degrees and dreary. Wrapped turkey in bacon. Oh, that sounds like heaven. Now, we don't do a lot of pork in my home. Bacon, I'm a sucker for bacon. I love bacon, but my son is Jewish, and so he doesn't do pork. Not to say that we don't still eat it, but he doesn't, so I have to pick and choose. And if I was to put it on a full turkey, which maybe, what might be kind of good is if I was to just buy a turkey breast and do it with the bacon on that, and that could just be me and my husband's and my daughter's, and then we could do the full turkey for, him to pick at. So I don't know, but that does sound amazing. Wow. I love bacon. That's one thing I miss about being on the keto diet, is when we were on keto, it was like bacon every day. And not to say that that's probably the best for you, but I did do amazing with my weight loss on the keto diet. But from what I hear, it's not all that healthy for you. So I don't know. You have to take one to give one. So I lost weight, but I guess I wasn't the healthiest. So I don't know. You can't win, I guess. You could be skinny and not healthy, or you could be heavy and I guess happy, because then I eat whatever I want to eat and I'm content with it. So, all right, you guys, I have got some fabulous promotions to go through with you guys today. We do have a Cyber Monday deal that did start today. So I want to make sure I did post it over on my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. You guys can read about that. Also, while you're there, make sure you scroll down, because we are on I think it's day 7 or 8 today of my 12 days of holiday Christmas crafting. So go over there, make sure you check out all the wonderful things that I have been sharing with you guys, whether you do a craft fair and you're looking for some more things to add to your event, then I've got some excellent projects over there for you guys to look at. And yeah, so let's get you guys flipped around. Now, when I do flip you guys around, I'm going to let you guys know that I'm going to start up my Facebook Live, because since they can't see me in this frame, I figured, you know what, I would spare them just staring at my desk, and I would start them up as soon as I get you guys flipped around so that I can talk about the promotion, so we make sure that everybody, all of our friends, all of our family is aware of all of the wonderful promotions that we are in the middle of, and some that are coming up, and I don't want anybody else to miss out on that. So hold tight. I'm going to get you guys flipped around, start up on Facebook, and we're going to get into this. And look, you guys get to stare into my fabulous hot chocolate cup here. Oops. Gosh dang it. Hit the wrong button over here. My other device is acting kind of wonky. Oh, there we go. Geez, Louise. Didn't know if it was ever going to go on there. Okay, I think we are good to go. I think. Let me switch over to Facebook over here, and let me move this over just a bit because I don't think you guys want to be staring into my other device here. There we go. That seems to be pretty good there. Oops. Now, of course, I had to go mess with things. Okay, let's see if we are actually live over here on Facebook. I think we are. Oh, yep, there we go. All right, we are live over on Facebook. Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to tip this just a skosh. Okay. All right. So as I was telling you guys that we have the 12 days of Christmas crafting that I have been doing over on my blog. So to go see the last couple of days that I have done. So we are on day 7 today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, day 7 is today. I have been doing some fabulous projects for you guys over there. So to see all those, go to pinkbarnstamper.com and you're going to see them all listed on there. Now, each one of them has their own video, so make sure you go in there and watch each one of them, and they are listed by day because I do release those every day for you guys. So, yeah, you're going to definitely want to check that out. We have got something that just started this month. Now, they have not released what our product of the month is yet, but I did notice today when I was in stampinup.com and I was logged into my account, I was adding some product to my shopping cart. And as I was doing that, it was showing me like a little tally bar at the top telling me that I was getting closer to achieving the product of the month. So Again, I'm not sure exactly what the product of the month is yet, but let me tell you guys how this is going to work. They did let us know this back in, I believe it was July. They told us about this, that they had coming up. And they have started it for the month of December. So here are the simple steps that you need to follow to get your product of the month for only $5. So it is a achieved product that you will pay $5 for. It is something that is going to be exclusive for product of the month. And you can only get it once in the month. So let me tell you kind of how this is going to work. It says follow these simple steps to get the exclusive product of the month for only $5. Number one, log into your Stampin' Up account. You must have a Stampin' Up account to participate. If you don't currently have an account, now's the perfect opportunity to quickly create one in the Stampin' Up website. So you're going to want to go to shopdannygarola.com and you will then be shopping with me. So then you get extra perks from me as well. Kind of like my Make It Monday, which we're doing today. You will get the free card kit once your order is $35 or more. And you're not going to want to miss out on that. Plus, you also get entered in every order that you make in the month. You also get added into my customer of the month prize as well, just to share with you guys that. Number two, add products to your cart. So it says you must spend $75 in one order to purchase a product of the month. You can track your spending progress online. Number three, make sure your cart total is at least $75. If you use Stampin' Rewards, any coupons, any discount codes on your order, and your cart amount falls below $75, you'll need to add items to your cart to get it above the qualifying amount again. So $75 is the sweet spot. So you guys who have shopped with me in the past, you probably have some acquired rewards in there. So if you apply those towards your order, say you put things in your cart and it equals $75, then you apply that rewards and say that was 15 bucks. You're going to want to make sure that you bump that back up to the $75 by adding another $15 back into that cart. So you make sure you get your product of the month. So 4, once you've reached your qualifying amount, you can add the product of the month to your cart. The product of the month is limited to 1 month's product per Stampin' Up account. Additionally, the product of the month items are available while supplies last. So once they're sold out, they're gone for good. So if you purchase the January product of the month, previous December product of the month, or the new February product of the month, provided those products are available for purchase, you meet the qualifying amount once for December and again for February. If you don't meet the qualifying amount in January until later in the month, and the January product of the month sells out in the first weeks, you won't be able to purchase it. Okay. 5, enjoy your product of the month. Congratulations, you have a new crafting product. Keep your eye out for next month's exclusive product of the month. So this is a wonderful promotion. I'm so glad they have decided to give this to us. And they have decided to do this because they have done away with our celebrations. So if you have been around with Stampin' Up for any amount of time, this was our last year of our celebration, and now they have moved to the product of the month, which I think is way more doable. And then you kind of see, because you know, we like to shop our Stampin' Up products. We know the quality, and we have all come to love the quality, and that's why we continue to buy our Stampin' Up stuff. So this is just a little extra added bonus. They have given us rewards. They've now given us the product of the month. So there is so much to shop and be thankful for, that Stampin' Up is providing so many wonderful products for us. Okay, now speaking of that, we have the Cyber Monday sale that started today and goes through December 9th. Now, this is for the prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscription. Now, you can save up to $80 if you guys purchase the 12-month prepaid. So let me kind of tell you the breakdown of this. So if you purchase the 3-month prepaid, it's going to be $61. If you do the 6-month prepaid, it is going to be $122. And if you get the 12-month prepaid, it's going to be $244. So let me tell you guys that if you do 3 months, you would regularly pay $81. If you were going to do the 6th month, it would be regularly $162. And then the 12-month is normally $324, and you're getting that for $244. So amazing savings on this. Now, let me tell you guys one thing. I do have all this written up over on the blog that you would have to scroll past the 12 days of Christmas crafting and move down, or on the right-hand side, there is a promotions in the category. If you click that promotions, it will bring this up as well. So you can go in there and read a little bit more about the fine details. But I do want to let you guys know that the subscriptions purchased during this promotion start immediately with the December watercolor in bloom kit. It cannot be skipped. You're going to get that when you get one of your prepaid subscriptions for this. Now, then moving on, then you can skip a month or two past that. But I just want you guys to be aware that you will be getting the December watercolor in bloom kit no matter what. That one can't be skipped. It says, do not purchase multiple subscriptions for the same recipient. The subscription will all start with the watercolor in bloom kit, which is for December. So the recipient will end up receiving duplicates of the same kit of each month if you were to buy multiple subscriptions, just so you know that. Okay, so go over to the blog when we're done with this live and read all about this. I don't want any of you missing out on this. If you have had any, like inclination of wanting to start up your Paper Pumpkin subscription, this is the time to do it. This is the best deal that they have had, and I don't want anybody else missing out on this. Hello, Linda Hunt. Welcome in. Okay, so make sure you go over and read more about that so you don't miss out on that. And here is the watercolor in bloom. Now, this is the only kind of graphic that I have for this, since it's kind of a surprise in your mailbox monthly that they don't give out too many details of it. But this is the December one, the watercolor in bloom that I was telling you that you will get. And everybody will get, whoever subscribes to that prepaid Cyber Monday deal. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this, just so if you're like, okay, that doesn't tell me much. I do have a little bit of a descriptive paragraph here that I can kind of go through with you. It says, this runs from November 11th to December 10th. Show your love and appreciation with rich watercolor hues and elegant botanical flourishes. This is going to make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes. It's going to come with some copper foil and copper sequins, pre-cut paper and vellum pieces. And it says, personalize your card greetings with customizable sentiment stamps. So as you can see, this here kind of gives you an idea of some of the colors and some of the little flourish that they're telling you about, the botanical flourishes. But let me show you guys this photo right here. Then you can kind of see those copper sequins that they were talking about that you're going to receive in this. And don't forget that we do have the Abundant Joy dies add-on that's going to coordinate with that as well. Now, all of this can be found in my online store. If you go to shopdannygarola.com, click Paper Pumpkin, And then you can read all about, it's going to talk about the Cyber Monday. It's also going to show you the December kit as well. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me at pinkbarnstamper@gmail.com. Or my phone number, I believe, is on my blog, and I think it is here on Facebook. I know it's not on YouTube, but you can contact me directly through YouTube. I do have a link to my email that you can email me right there. Love, love, love. I had to have some hot chocolate. All right, so we do have a couple of birthdays this week. We have got Miss Gina Williams on Wednesday the 3rd and Miss Marcia Lynn on Thursday the 4th. Happy birthday, you guys. Enjoy your special days. Now, as I was telling you guys, for each month when you shop with me, you get added. So that means every time you place an order with me, you get another like tally mark in the, you get your name added again to my drawing for the customer of the month. So for this month, I am giving, this is called the Abstract Beauty Ephemera Pack. I have that, and I have a pack of the purple adhesive back sequins. I thought those went really well together with all the colors in here. This is going to go for the customer of the month for November. This is going to Miss Magna Martinez. Thank you, Magna, for placing your order with me. I truly appreciate you helping support my little small business that I have here. Okay, so let me set that aside so I make sure I get that in the mail. Okay. And then, so as I told you guys, the last time I saw you before Thanksgiving, I was reading the book called Relish in Death, which was a part of the Paws and Pastry Cozy Mystery by Maisie Marple. I actually finished that book. It was really cute. So if you guys like the Hallmark channel also has a mystery channel as well. And so that's kind of what Maisie Marple's books are kind of like. So I read book number 1 in that. And then I also subscribe by email. I subscribe to, it's called Free Booksy. And so every day they send out an email of free books that are on Kindle, Amazon. And so Maisie Marple has so many books, like almost daily does she have a book in there that is free. So then after I finished that book, I was going to start book number 2 of the Paws and Pastry Cozy Mysteries, because I figured, okay, I finished one. One was pretty cute. Well, not, I don't know if cute's the right word. It was good. And then lo and behold, I went to my email and I saw another one of her free books in there. It is called Murder at the Pumpkin Patch. And it was so fitting for the time of year that I started reading it. And so that is book number 1 of the Hayride and Homicide series. Super, super good. I have gotten probably about 40% into the book this last week, because that's what I do. Once the kids all go to bed and my husband's in bed, I lay in bed and I read. That's kind of my time. And so it's actually getting really good. I don't want to give too much away just because if you guys go over and read it. And the other thing that I really like is that her books are extremely affordable. So when I got the Murder at the Pumpkin Patch free, you could also download I think she has 4 or 5 more in that series for $4. Like, for that many books for $4, oh yes, please. You know what I mean? It's good entertainment, and and it could be cheap entertainment, and that's my kind of entertainment. I'm all about cheap. So, if you guys are looking for a good cozy mystery, now there's nothing, it's not gory. It doesn't have any of the risque kind of stuff in it. It's just, like I said, it's kind of like Hallmark. And if you ever watch any of Hallmark shows, you know that they're kind of wholesome. They're nothing nasty or anything like that. So these are just kind of those kind of books that you grab your, hot cup of tea, your hot cocoa, your cup of coffee, and it's just something you kind of just snuggle up with, but you get kind of enthralled in the book as well. It kind of just keeps you hooked to it because they're trying to find out and solve the mystery of the story. And so it's just a really, really fun read. Her books all seem to be, like I said, the first one that I was reading, it was called Relish in Death. And it was about a girl who owned a hot dog truck that she drove around the country, and she made different themed hot dogs and sold them. So it was really fun. Now, the one that I read, book number 1, it took place in a coastal town in Maine. So again, you get this like super good, like descriptive, and for me, Maine is like Maine and Michigan are the two main places that I want to visit in my lifetime. Those are kind of my bucket list states that I want to visit. And so the really cool thing with that is that it really kind of made you feel like you were kind of there with her, and it took place at a lighthouse. So it was just I don't know. You guys will just have to read it. And then this new one, it takes place in a little town, and the main character, he owned a pumpkin patch, and they do this big festival there every year, and they do a corn maze. And so it's just fun. And I thought I would share that with you guys just in case you're looking for a fun read. And also this week, I got caught up on the new series of Stranger Things. So season 5 came out, and I think it was 4 or 5 episodes that they released on, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday. They released the 5 episodes. So we binge watched that those 3 days, and then you will get some more episodes on Christmas. They're going to release some more. And then on New Year's, they'll release the final episodes. And so, I'm like, I can't wait for more. I love Stranger Things. I love most movies that I like to watch. I like to watch the kind of the 80s. 80s was such a good time, you guys. I so miss like the 80s and 90s. I thought that was probably the best. Well, because I have nothing else to compare it to besides nowadays. But as far as childhood memories, I think the 80s was fantastic. And when you see them with their little rolled up cuffs on their pants, or they've rolled down their socks, and they're wearing their white Ked shoes, or they're carrying their Walkmans around and they're just riding their bikes, it's just so nostalgic for me. So that's why I totally get down on Stranger Things. I do like the story, don't get me wrong, but I really like the whole 80s themed, 80s cars, 80s. I mean, it's cool. So if you haven't seen it, you guys need to check it out if you are digging the 80s. Okay. I think I missed something. Here we go. I need to go back here. Somebody said something about flying. My son-in-law was doing the keto diet. He lost 30 pounds. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight when I did it. It was quite the diet. I mean, and I didn't go hungry, I'll tell you that much. Whereabouts in GA did he live? Augusta for 2 years. I'll have to go back and read the comments because it looks like I missed quite a bit. And it was, from what I'm kind of just like picking through and seeing, I'm reading about flying. And flying is not my jam. I am scared of heights. So the one time that I did fly, we flew from Oregon to Anaheim when we went to Disneyland, and to take the kids there. And it was okay, don't get me wrong, but holy Hannah, especially when you're on a plane and you don't like heights and you have your babies with you, it's, you're hugging them very tight, probably extremely too tight. But we made it and it was good, and we made it home, but don't think I would ever fly again. It was, it's just not my thing. So that's why we bought the RV, because that's how we travel now. All right, so enough of the blah, 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 because I could blah, blah, blah all day because I have missed you guys the last week. So I had a lot to catch up with you guys. All right, so the kit for today, we are doing some fabulous cards using the Jar of Joy. Now, the Jar of Joy comes with this fabulous, if you do the bundle, it comes with the builder, or the jar builder punch, which is wonderful. It punches out the jar and the jar lid, which is really cool. So a couple months ago, I'm sure you guys remember when I did the sweet jar. Now, I love when they do the two-part stamps like this. So it just really makes your punch and your stamps go even further when they do the holiday one that goes with, I mean, this has some holidays in here as well, but I really like that they went with an all kind of Christmas holiday theme. This one does have your Valentine's. It had some cookies or jelly beans, whatever you want to do with those. They also had the shamrocks in here and some little candles for a birthday even. So this kind of is your all occasion kind of stamp sets here, two-part stamps along with the punch. So today I decided that we're going to go ahead and do this holiday themed one, Jar of Joy. So let me show you guys the cards that I have come up for with you guys. Oops, we got these backwards. This is in order how I'm going to do them so I can show those to you. So I went ahead and just created some really fun. Now the only punch that I used for the jars and stamped in them is this one. And then I used the jar alone here and then put the image here. And then this one, I primarily just used the stamped images without the jar. But I think they all turned out fantastic. And so let's go ahead and get into these. So the way Make It Monday works is when you shop in my store today through the 7th of December and you spend $35 or more, which I know you're going to because you're going to be buying that Paper Pumpkin subscription, you are going to wind up getting a kit in the mail just like this. You're going to have your cutout pieces of cardstock. You're going to have even some scraps. So if you need to stamp anything, you can stamp them, punch them out. You will need the Jar of Joy and the jar builder punch to create these exactly as I'm showing you. But anything extra that I put in there, like on this one, how I put in the arches, I will already have those die cut for you. So all you have to do is just stamp right on those. But you are going to need this because I can't stamp per policy through Stampin' Up. I cannot stamp any images for you. So you're going to need this to make these exactly the way that I show. And because you're going to want this anyways, because it is a fantaculous set to make some Christmas cards. So let's go ahead and start here. What did I say I was going to start with? Oh yeah, I'm going to start with this one. Nope, I'm not. I had them right the first time. Here I go, overthinking things. All right, so let's get out all of my pieces. And so the way that it works is I'm going to demonstrate each card for you. And then you can go over to my blog tomorrow, pinkbarnstamper.com, to get all the measurements and all the supply list that you're going to need over there. So this first card, we are using Crumb Cake. And I am just using a basic A2 card base. This is going to be landscape style. And we have a piece of cherry cobbler. Cherry cobbler is going to be my next layer. Then I have another piece of the crumb cake, which is going to line up right there. And then I am using this paper here. Now this paper is the, is called the Timeless Plaid 6x6 Designer Series paper. This has got so many gorgeous colors in this plaid here. And it's double-sided, so you've got the whole other side that has so many colors in it. This is a great little paper pack. And so That must have fallen out of there. So on this card here, I decided to use this side of the paper, but you know what? I think I'm going to do it a little bit different. I made it different in the fact that I used crumb cake instead of white, but this way you can kind of see both cards and both designs to kind of get your own idea of what you like if you want to recreate this card. So let's go ahead and get this adhered down. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this part first. And I love my multi-purpose glue for the fact that I have some wiggle room to place that on there and get that with my seam on there correctly. And then just eyeballing this, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down on the cherry cobbler. Okay, now I'm going to put that whole layer straight down on my card front. Just like so. And then I'm going to bring in my scrap of white. And I also forgot to grab a scrap. I need a scrap of cherry cobbler because I need to do those lids for my jar. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bring in, let me move these back over here where I had them. Should have left them alone. Now this is going to go on the inside, so I'm just going to throw that in there. Let me bring in all my stamps here. So I'm going to need my jar, and I'm going to be using my Memento Black. And I'm just going to stamp that down here, flip my paper over, and stamp it again down here since we have two of them. All right, then we need to grab the cherry cobbler and my crumb cake. And so inside of this stamp, you get these two images here. Now, I'm not sure if you can see those all too well, but one is the full gingerbread, and then the other one, he's missing his head. I know that's kind of morbid, but this is where you can get that little red or whatever color you choose to use it with, but you get that kind of a detailed background in it, which is a really cool little look to it. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp with crumb cake first, and I'm using the full snowman image first in this. And I'm just going to stamp that right in there. Give that a second to marinate into that paper. Okay. And then using the outline, I'm going to grab cherry cobbler. And I found best that if I line up his little bow tie on that gingerbread, now hopefully you guys don't get too much of a headshot here, but I have to be able to see what I'm doing, because they're probably going to be staring at my head for a second. Yep, you got a headshot. But that way I can get that detail on there without screwing that up too bad. And then, oh, no, we're going to need that out still. And I need my sentiment that says, wishing you the sweetest Christmas. And I'm going to stamp that in this jar, just like so. And then let's grab our punch here. And I'm going to line this up. Right, Kimberly? The 80s rocked. I agree. Those were like good high school, or not, I wasn't in high school in the 80s, but those were good memories. Let's just say that. Okay, now I'm just going to take my scrap here of cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to do 2 of the lids, just like that. Okay, let's get rid of those. And with my glue, I'm just going to put just a little line of glue across the top and place my jar lid on there. Oops, I'm a little bit crooked, but thank goodness we used the green glue that I can kind of straighten that out. There we go. That's better. Trust me, my hot chocolate is not spiked. Okay. There are those. Now, I used the linen thread on this one, but I thought, you know what? I have this striped. This is called the Real Red and White Baker's Twine. I thought this might be cute on there. Now, I could be wrong. No, I think that's kind of cute. Now, the linen thread would go with our crumb cake, but that's okay. We can change things up a bit. Now, I will give you the length of ribbon in this as well. Okay, just hold my finger in there. All right, grab my snips that I use specifically for ribbon and twine. Okay, there's that one. Now let's do another one. Ah, if I can hang on to it, geez Louise. I must have sticky on my finger because it keeps sticking to me. Okay, now let's take these, grab some dimensionals, because we're going to elevate these. Now, my mom does tell me, like, the 60s and 70s were pretty good. I was born in 76, so I didn't get to enjoy too much of the 70s. But you know what? If they were anything like the 80s, then it was fabulous. But then again, when you're a kid, things just seem so simple. Well, at least my childhood was like, I didn't have to grow up super fast. I was an only child, so maybe that made, you know, a lot of difference. I didn't have to help take care of siblings or anything like that. So I got to be a child. Like, I think I played with Barbie dolls until I was probably around like 13. And I had Cabbage Patch Kids that they were my babies, and I pushed them around in strollers, and I was proud of it, and I wasn't embarrassed by it. Like, I look at kids nowadays, and being 11, 12 years old nowadays, they're already, and I'm sure I probably did wear makeup, but not, I think I had to be, like, I remember it was a rule that when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to shave my legs until I was 11. And I think I got a razor for my 11th birthday. And it was just a little electric razor, nothing like straight blade or anything like that. But it was just different. It was different times back then. And I remember getting makeup for like I think it was my 13th birthday. And I had really bad acne as a kid. So I remember being on all these different kind of prescriptions that would help because I got teased really bad in school. It was awful. I didn't, well, it wasn't really necessarily high school because I kind of had it cleared up by a little bit cleared up by high school because of the medication that I was on. But middle school was bad. Like, kids were mean. And I remember them calling me pizza face and crater face, all those kinds of things, because I really had acne bad. It was no joke. But you know what? It shaped me into who I am now, and I've taught my kids that it's not okay to make fun of people. But you know, bullying is a part of life, I guess. Not to say that it is a good thing, but I mean, at least back then we didn't have cyberbullying because our internet was dial-up. And we had to meet people organically. Like, we didn't have cell phones to, you know, meet people on apps and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we put wishing you the sweetest Christmas. And I have this one that says, may your heart be filled with joy. Or we've got this one, sending a jar full of cheer. I think I'm going to do that one, because we did use the jar on this one. So let's go ahead and stamp that for the inside of our card. Okay, we're going to put that right there. Yes, 70 music was awesome. I agree. That's the other thing that I like about like 70s and 80s movies, because they play the music back from the day. Like we like I said, we were just binge watching the 5th season of Stranger Things, and the girl, she pulls out a cassette of Tiffany, and she's the one that sings that song, I think we're alone now. It doesn't seem to be anyone around. I know, don't quit my day job. I'm not a good singer, but you know the song. If you know, you know. And so that came on, and I'm sitting there kind of like rocking out. My husband's like looking at me because he's born in 82. So yeah, he kind of missed, the 90s were more his thing. But age-wise for middle school and that kind of stuff. So he doesn't quite understand the whole 70s, 80s music. I mean, he listens to it, but it's not, it doesn't take you back to a time and place. Are you guys like that? Do you ever smell something and it'll take you back? Like, I know, I think it's called Tropicana lotion. Me and my mom flew to Hawaii. She won a trip with the business that she was working with. She won a trip, and we flew to Hawaii and spent like 7 days in Hawaii. And the Tropicana, that was like the lotion of the times, because I had to have been maybe 10, 11 when we went. And so just every time I smell that, I remember going to the Polynesia Culture Center in Honolulu, because we went on a tour there and kind of did the touristy thing, since I figured we probably wouldn't, I mean, she probably figured that we, you know, maybe wouldn't go back to Hawaii again. I don't know. But we went on all the tours and the things. Okay, so there is our first card. Isn't that fun? I love the colors of that. Now, what I was also thinking is you could take this red layer and probably do a embossing folder to get some more texture on that if you wanted to kind of take that a step further. But what do you guys like better? Do you like the crumb cake or do you like the white background? I mean, they both are equally as pretty. I like them both. But there it is. And what do you like better as far as like the twine? We've got the red and white, and we've got the baker or the linen thread. So you can do all the differences on yours. You could even do gold or silver. That would be cool. Okay, let's do card number 2. Okay, card number 2 is this fun one right here. Let's get all the stuff out. Get all my stuffings. And this one, here's my inside. We're going to go ahead and fold this. Now, this one is going to be a regular portrait style. Oh, you guys, my bone folder, I swear I need to put some sticky on that and stick it to my forehead, because that is probably my most lost tool, but my most used tool. Okay, so for this paper here, I have brought in, this is called, oh, of course, now I can't find it. This is called the Season of Elegance, and this comes in the Pretty Peacock Basic Beige. It comes in Cherry Cobbler, and which is in there somewhere. And then it also comes in the Old Olive. So this is really pretty. One side has gold foiling on it, and the other side is more of the muted. It both looks like those paint splatters, but are like stucco paint, but just one side. It's a specialty paper. So I have brought in this piece here, and I'm going to place that right like so. And I am using a Lost Lagoon card base. That's what this color is Lost Lagoon, if I didn't tell you that. And then for both of my layers here, I have brought in the Everyday Arch dies. And for the white piece, I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I used the 6th one. Oh, geez, now I got it in there and can't get it out of there. So let me see that again. Yep, that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6. And then 7 on this one. For those arches. So we did Basic White and Lost Lagoon. And then I need a scrap of Lost Lagoon. And with that, I'm going to move that out of the way. I need to grab Pretty Peacock. Let me move these ones aside because I'm done with those. So with Pretty Peacock, I need to clean off my jar because I did have black ink on that, and I don't want black in my ink pad. Okay, Pretty Peacock. Let's stamp our jar. And I need the Lost Lagoon. And with the Lost Lagoon, I'm going to take the little snowflake stamp here, and I'm going to stamp that all inside of my jar so it's just a bit lighter. There we go. And with my punch, punch that out. Okay. And then leaving that out, I'm going to set that right there. I don't need that lid, but I do need my white piece because this was where we're going to stamp our snowman. So the way I kind of decided where I wanted my snowman angled at. Now I know I don't want it too far down because I'm going to take some of this open weave gold, is this called ribbon? I'm not sure. And on the bottom, so I want to make sure I leave enough space to wrap that around. So I think if I take my snowman right there, we'll be good. What do I have here? Okay, that's my pretty peacock. So I'm going to bring that about right like so. Okay. And then he has an open spot for his little, what is that thing called? Scarf, and the little open part of his hat right up here for like the little hat belt. And I'm going to do Lost Lagoon for that. So again, trying not to put my head too far over this, but I need to be able to see. There we go. Isn't he cute? Oh, I love it. I love those little details. Okay, let's put those back in there. And I need my snow left out because we are going to put some snow on there. So I'm going to move that aside so I don't stick my hands in it. And then I'm going to come in with my snow and I'm just going to dab some snow around him. And then, like I said, with our jar coming up like this, I want to make sure, there we go, that works. Okay, now we're going to adhere this to our just slightly bigger Lost Lagoon arch. And then we're going to grab that open weave. And then I like pinching it together when I go to tie it to make sure I kind of keep that together. And then I can fluff it once I get it tied on here. Okay, let's pull that down just a bit. Let's cut. And then we're going to open these up. Try to find the ends of that. Gotta train your bow to have its little legs hang down. Those kind of can have a whole little thought of their own. There we go. I think I like that. Bring that over to my card, and then, you know, you can manipulate this to make it be even or slide it over if it's covering your little snowman too much. Okay, now that I'm going to put about right there, and then this is going to go up here. So let's go ahead and pop this up first. Love Shack is a little old place where... I love that song. I have not heard that song in forever. That's a good one. See, now you guys are like pondering all the 80s songs, right? All right, so now we're gonna place this. Now that song's gonna be in my head all night. Yesterday it was, I think we're alone now. That's what I kept singing all day. All right, now I'm going to pop this up. I'm gonna put two there, and then I'm gonna put one up here on the top of that. So then when I place this on there, it's not falling off the side. Okay, let's tip that like so. Our little snow globe has spilled out our snowman. I think that is just adorable. Now, I am bringing in, these are called the traditional sparkling sequins. Now, you've got options with these. You've got the gold that you could put on there, which would be pretty. But I really liked, see, you can see that I put the blue ones on here. I really like the blue. I thought that went really well. So I'm going to keep that on there. Just like that. I think that's so pretty. Those sparkles. Ugh. You know what? I'm going to just set those over there because that's going to drive me bananas. So now let's go ahead and complete the inside of this one. So I've got just a little 3/4 inch piece of that same paper. I'm just going to put that along the bottom there. So I signed up for an event on Saturday the 6th. It's called Mistletoe Market. So if you are local here in Tucson, I would love for you guys to come and show your support. There's going to be, I think they said there's over 100 vendors that they have coming. And so I'm going to have a table set up. I'm going to be selling kits and just having a great time. I was kind of contemplating because I was like, oh gosh, that's so kind of last minute, but it just happened to work out and got the table. And so I'm super excited about showing off our kits and just showing off our fabulous Stampin' Up! Product. Okay, so for this little shaker here, I think I'm going to come into the inside and put, may your heart be filled with joy. I think that goes really cute with our little snowman there. And I'm going to do that in Pretty Peacock. So I have put that in the events on my page, on my personal page, not my business page, but I did share it on my personal page. So if you want to read more about that, you can. And there's even a list on that events page. There's a list of all the vendors that are going to be there. I'm going to do some last minute Christmas shopping because I still have a couple of people that I'm just having a struggle with getting stuff. One being my daughter, because she has no like quite useful hand movements. It's really hard to get her anything. Like I've tried years in the past, I've done like Play-Doh or sensory things to try to just help her get her hands moving. But she winds up just kind of like slopping it all over the place, and then it's a hot mess. But, you know, there are times where I lay out a mat and I just let her make a mess, because that's the only way kids are going to be kids, right? I mean, she is 16, but so I'm kind of struggling with what to get her. She does like watching, you know, TV, but it's like, you know, how much can a kid watch TV all the time? That just seems so redundant, but it's what she likes, and that's her niche. So I've decided to get her a couple of movies that she can have. I know we have a lot of TV subscriptions that she watches a lot of shows on, but this way she can take her movies in the car with us. And we have set up her surgery date. So I'm pretty sure she's going to want to have movies to take with her. We will be in the hospital for at least a week after her surgery. So she's going to want to have things to watch, and I'm sure she's going to be doing a lot of resting, but it is coming up in January, and week by week, it is becoming more and more real to me, and I'm just kind of having a mom freak out moment, but I know it has to be done. I know there's no way around it, but still, you know, it's just a mom thing. If you know, you know. So there is card number 2. I just think that's so cute on that paper. And I love this paper, and I've been trying to find things to use for that. And I thought, you know what? A non-traditional kind of a bluish icy scene would be perfect on that paper. So that's what I came up with for that one. And then we have May Your Heart Be Filled with Joy. Okay, so that's card number 2. Now, card number 3, I kind of came in. Now, this card was kind of inspired by my husband, because these are his favorite colors. He loves red, white, and black. Now, I did put the pop of gold in there just because it went with this paper. But when I met him and he had his apartment, his bathroom, his bedspread, his everything was red, black, and white. So I saw, you know, this little card, and I thought, you know what, with this paper, I need to have a color. So I just went ahead and went with red. So we're going to use the little ornaments for this one. Let's grab the stuff for this card. And I think this card's kind of elegant with that gold in there. I think it's kind of just, you know, not necessarily traditional Christmas colors, but I just think it's kind of fancy. So we're going to go with that. So let's get, where's the inside? There it is. The inside of my card, we're going to go ahead, and this is basic black, just a regular portrait style card. I have my piece of cherry cobbler, and there's something sticky on my desk. And so that is going to go down next. Oh, my heater just kicked on. It must have gotten colder than 70 in here. Okay. There we go, like that. Then I've got this paper here. This is called, the Modern Christmas Specialty Paper. It is solely black, white, and gold. So it's very, very pretty paper. If you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, I used the Fa La La, and I colored it with our Stampin' Blends, and I made it pink, just to give it, you know, again, some pop of color. So that's what I've decided to use for this piece here. So that's going to go like that. Then I've got a piece of gold. This I'm going to adhere just a tiny little portion of it on the side of that. So let me flip that over. And I'm just going to run just a small little line of glue down that. Just adhere that like so. Okay. Make sure that's pretty even. Yep, that looks good. And then I'm going to adhere the whole thing right on the card front there. And we're just going to place this right on here. Just letting a little strip of that red pop through there. Okay, and that's going to be my little sentiment piece. Now, you might be thinking, what in the world, sentiment piece? How are you going to put a sentiment on that gold gold sheet there? Now I'm going to show you in just a second. We're going to go ahead and finish up some other pieces here. I have this black. Now I'm going to angle the black where the top left corner is touching my designer series paper and the bottom left is touching the edge of my gold. And I'm going to go ahead and just adhere that down. Just like that, just to give it a little bit of teeter-totter in there. Now, I have this white piece here that I'm going to do my stamping on, and I have decided to bring in those ornaments. So I need my little white powder puff bag thing here, and I'm going to just dust that on there. I'm going to grab my Versamark and those ornaments, and just eyeballing it, because you guys know that I am nobody who measures anything. And I'm just gonna eyeball the center here, and I'm gonna Versamark and bring in my gold Wow embossing powder here. And we're just going to place that right there. We're gonna call that the center. Whether it be center, I don't know, but it works. Go ahead and put that away. And let's grab my spoon. Yeah, that works. There we go. Set that there. Let's put the lid on this because we don't need to heat up that whole little bucket of that. And let me grab my heat tool. And my embossing, or my take your pick tool. Okay. Okay, so there's our first stamped image. Then I'm going to use the Memento Black. Again, just eyeballing this. And then I need cherry cobbler. Let's grab my Stampin' Scrub and clean this off. I wasn't worried about stamping in the black after I used Versamark because it's a clear anyways. So that's why, if you guys were like, wait a minute, you didn't clear the Versamark off of that. You don't necessarily have to clean that off. Okay, again, you're probably seeing the top of my head. Okay, there we go. Pretty good. Now, coming into this little strip here, I'm going to use May Your Heart Be Filled with Joy, but since we did use that in that Pretty Peacock, we need to clean that. Oops. And dry it. And I got it kind of crooked on there, so let me grab this and set it down so it straightens itself out. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and clean that one more time because I can still see some of the peacock on there. All right, now to get our ink to stay on a non-porous surface like this, we need to have our Stays On ink. Now, Stays On is kind of a sticky ink, so when you go to use this, oh, and I love the smell of it. Oh, it smells like almond oil or something. Oh, I just think it is the most heavenly scent to it. So I love it when I get to use my Versamark. So I'm just going to get some ink on there. And it dries quite quickly, so you need to work kind of fast with this. And then stamp that on there. And then, like I said, it's going to be sticky. And then pull that off, just like so. And now we have a stamped image. Now, if you were to try to use your Memento ink or any kind of water-based ink, you're going to stamp down and it's going to slide. So when you use Versamark, like I said, it's kind of, or when you use Stays On, it's kind of sticky. So when you go down, it's going to stick to that. So then when you pull that off, pull it off gently so it doesn't tear your paper, because sometimes that can happen. And then with this little strip here, I'm going to take that and I'm going to adhere it right to the tops of my ornament. And I'm going to throw the glue around a little bit. Shaken, not stirred. And then we're going to bump this all the way up to the edge over here. Right at the tops of those ornaments. And see, and you won't get any smudging because, like I said, that stuff dries pretty instantly. Can you see I kind of stamp my black one a little bit too far down, but hey, who's judging? That's how you know it's homemade, because it's not precise, and that's okay. All right, then we're gonna take this, and this is just gonna go right across the center here. So let's pop that up. Let's give that some dimension, because that is our focal. Hello, Cheryl. I don't think I said hello to Kimberly. I did say something to you, but then I don't think I said hi. So hello, Kimberly, welcome in. Okay, I'm going to place that right in the center there. And as you can see, it's the same width as my red. So it lines up perfectly on there. And then we have an inside piece. I'm going to place that same designer series paper in there. This is just a 3/4 inch little strip here. I think it's 3/4. Is it? Maybe it's 1/2 inch. Where's my ruler? Yeah, it's 3/4. Go big or go home, right? Okay, there's that. And where are my other snips? May your heart be filled with joy. And then we've got wishing you the sweetest Christmas. Sending a jar full of cheer. Well, I didn't use any jars on here, so I think I'm gonna not have a stamped image in there, but a stamped sentiment in there, but I am gonna bring in my ornaments again and go like this. I'm trying to think, do I want red? Because I don't have any red in the inside of the card. So, yep, we're going to do Cherry Cobbler. And I am just going to start in the center. Just like so. And bring those ornaments on the inside. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and adhere that to the inside of our card. There's our fabulous, but wait a minute, we need to put some blingy bling on this. I'm bringing in the flower accents. I think these are just so bright and gold. They're like a true gold little circle here. They almost remind me of a sand dollar, like their little pattern on them. That's what it reminds me of. I'm going to put one up there. And then 2 down here. So these do come in small and large. So we're just going to go like that just to give that a little bit more bling. Now, if you really wanted to go crazy, you could put the little ones in the center of each one of those little ornaments, and that'd be really cute too. So let's bring all these cards back in here and show you all the versatility that this jar of joy has to offer. This, yep, that one was mine. I didn't do an inside in mine yet. And here we go. There are our 3 fabulous cards using our wonderful jar of joy along with the jar builder punch. This is a very reasonably priced bundle, and remember, when you bundle the punch and the stamp set together, you're going to save 10%. And who doesn't love saving money? I mean, sign me up, right? I hope you guys are just like me, and then that way you will get this kit in the mail from me when you shop in my store, shopdannygirl.com. And so make sure you have your gold embossing folder. It's not a requirement, but it does really tie everything together here. And you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget to craft, create, and spread kindness. And I will see you guys back here next week for another Make It Monday. So you guys have a fabulous week. So do you guys, when you look at these, I have one more question for you before I let you go. Which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite out of these? Like, did one kind of grab your eye more than the other? I think when I look at these, I'm really kind of struggling, but I think I actually like the bluish colored one just because it's kind of just so different. So you guys tell me your opinions on that. Leave them in the comment for me, and I will come back and definitely read, because I missed what you guys were talking about earlier about the airplane situation. So I definitely want to read that. All right, you guys, have a great weekend or week. See you guys soon. Bye.